Hello everyone, and welcome to the bonus content of DC Thursday. And this I want to talk about is Swamp Thing. Now I haven't seen the show or anything of Swamp Thing. After its pilot episode. But, unfortunately, guys, this is not good news right there. From Uproxx of Andrew Husband, by Andrew Husband, I don't know the name. Yeah, like a husband, like animal husbandry, you know? Well, but I only used the podcast episode for jokes, but this one on the other hand, but the bonus content, I'm being real, being honest, and no, I'm not being funny on this. It's the news I got. It says DC's sudden decision to cancel Swamp Thing after one episode has confused and upset the fans, and yeah, I too am very, very confused. It's because of Vertigo. It might be shutting down or something. Well, maybe not. But you know, Doom Patrol's getting a new season. Titans is getting a new season, and Swamp Thing got one episode, but it's sadly been canceled. I hope the same thing don't happen with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy show, you know. I hope it don't happen to that, because I'm looking forward to that the most, because it's an animated film, you know. Just like Justice League Outsiders, and yet I still have to watch Justice League Outsiders. I still have DC Universe, and yes, I do want to keep on binge watching Justice League. Although, this one is sad news right there. No. But I'm going to get to the source. Here's what Andrew Husband has to say about this. Barely a week after its episode premiered on the DC Universe streaming service, the new Swamp Thing series has been canceled. Deadline initially reported the news, which subsequently confirmed by other trades and digital entertainment outlets, despite a general agreement that Swamp Thing had in fact been canceled. However, no one seemed to know why it happened. Writer Joel Golson suggested that it had to do with North Carolina's recent correction of tax rebate error. And here's what Jeff Golson said on Twitter. Said in articles of Swamp Thing, there still seemed to be confusion of why of its sudden shutdown. The reasons didn't hit the entertainment trades, but they did hit the news in North Carolina. And then he second paged it with, North Carolina promised a $40 million tax rebate that, due to paperwork error, they were unable to deliver. That was roughly half the proposed budget for season 1, which is estimated at $80 million. And back to the article. The problem was the estimated budget of Swamp Thing season 1 was around $80 million. With a premise and rebate, Warner Brothers assumed that they would be getting half of that back from the state. Following the correction, the initial figure of $40 million was reduced to around $14 million. as Jose put it, that's a massive difference. And here's what he tweeted. Back to his Twitter. When North Carolina discovered the error, the corrected, Warner Bros. Shut down production. Realized they'd be taking a bath on a rebate and paying for far more of it than assumed. The adjusted numbers from North Carolina is something like $14 million. That's a massive difference. And here's his second page. There won't be season 2 because it's now too expensive to maintain the levels of quality of season 1, especially for S.A. Nishade program. And there's no great reason to keep the production on standby when the deal in North Carolina is no good for them anyway. Now back to the article. He offered some recent reported articles from local North Carolina news outlet to back up his claim, which ran counter to initial educate guesses about creative differences and other pre-cancel woes. Either way, it seems Swamp Thing is no more at DC Universe, and folks aren't too happy about it. After shelling out for streaming service, and here's what Mike has to say about that. Here's some tweets, including one from Mike Sechingi, or at Way Out Stuff. Here's what he tweeted. Not a good look to let the story like this break somewhere before the second episode has aired. And while different episodes, it's even more unfortunate it comes in the heels of no Hall H San Diego Comic-Con news. And here's what John Squires, of whose Twitter is Freddy in Space, say. Nothing sucks the air right out of a brand new show quite like it being canceled before the second episode even airs. What, and Do No Harm is a drama, it's a medical drama on NBC, and that got canceled after 2 episodes. And then remaining was aired at the summer. I was really digging what Swamp Thing was down, and I actually only even subscribe to DC Universe because of it. And here's what Zaki Hansen has to say. Spending nearly $1 million per season on a series based on a cult character and airing on the streaming service with only marginal cultural awareness doesn't make a lot of business sense. So no, I'm not surprised that Swamp Thing is dead on arrival. It's a shame, but it is what it is. And here's what Tara Bennett has to say. Incredibly bad call. Hashtag Swamp Thing has great first 2 episodes. So much potential. And here's one from the fans, like Walt, Urber Kryptonian. Hashtag Save Swamp Thing. Shout it out from the effing rooftop. And Richard Newbley. The absolute garbage decision. Make noise, folks. Hashtag Save Swamp Thing. And Talking Goatee. Hashtag Save Swamp Thing because it's a freaking great show with an amazing cast and wonderful people. Beautiful graphics and music. With one of the best pilots ever. And there's the subscribers. Hashtag Save Swamp Thing at DC Comics at DCU Swamp Thing. at Warner Brothers Home Entertainment and at the DC Universe. I bought a year subscription at launch for the originally programming, namely Swamp Thing. I support James Wan's vision and wanted to see more. Redo Swamp Thing, or I may not renew, to be honest. And back to the article. Hey, that's okay. At least the streamer is getting Watchmen in July. And here's what DC has to say. Exciting things are coming to the DC Universe in July. To check out what's on the way, including Watchmen. Really, DC Universe, you're ignoring the save Swamp Thing. And yet Warner Bros. Decided to cancel because of the tax issues in North Carolina. I mean, why can't you come to Texas, you know? I mean, we got swamps in Texas. Well, you definitely don't want to do some swamps in Louisiana because there's alligators. There's alligators out there. And we got alligator hunters. And they had filmed swamp people. Well, although, like I say, the swamp people maybe know more, but, you know, the only thing that's still standing is Pawn Stars. But other than that, yeah, that's just really unfortunate. I'm not even kidding. That is so unfortunate, I can't even bear to say it. You should be ashamed of yourself, and I think it must be the decision. But for once, it's not Christina Miller of Cartoon Network, even though I still got my eye on her. She may be casting of the Batman. And by the way, you can check out the episode I have on right now on YouTube from the Spreaker, and it's also on Anchor FM. But this is a bonus content for it. So yeah, I didn't get the news. I didn't put it on the episode, but yeah. So guys, I want you to give your thoughts on Swamp Thing being canceled after one episode. And I know, like, do you understand of the situation in North Carolina, or do you think that was a dumb business decision? Which I do agree, it is a dumb decision, you know. But also I'm understandable because of the tax issues in North Carolina. Alright guys, that's going to do about it for this bonus episode of DC's Thursday. I'll see you guys next time. Well, in podcast form, but, you know, my clone is going to do E3, which begins, he's going to be on an episode tomorrow talking about E3, the road to E3, and then E3 weekend, baby. E3 weekend.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.